Good day, Internet. It has been a long time since I've done a video really of any sort. Been busy. I have a house now. Been all caught up doing stuff with it. But around the same time, I picked up this 1983 FB RX7 as a project car. I picked this thing up for $1,000 Canadian. So if you're in the States, that is like, I don't know, 800 and something bucks. For a barely driving car, but that's still pretty great. It has a 12A in it, and I saw it running whenever the guy sold it to me. He ran it for a couple minutes. But it needed quite a bit of finesse to get that to happen. So I picked this thing up in October, and I've been picking away at it slowly. I've been taking lots of pictures, but no videos on it, so I'd like to kind of document where we're at with it right now. It's got rust, but I've seen worse, but I've certainly seen better. So whenever I first sat in this car, I thought that the front seat was just unbolted a little bit, because the front was kind of tipping up and down a little bit. The seat wasn't exactly bolted in, so I was like, okay, whatever. And whenever I looked into it further, this is supposed to continue out here, and this is where the seats bolt onto. So there is nothing to bolt on to be spoken of. And yeah, so I started, the floor obviously wasn't exactly like this whenever I bought it, but I'm cutting away all of the bad stuff. So I'm in the process of that. Getting the carpet out of this was a massive pain in the butt, but we managed to do it. Today it's a gorgeous day today. It's about -14 Celsius, and I've actually been waiting for a day when it's super cold and not super windy, and a weekend, which is that all lined up today. And I'm smashing all the sound deadening out of this because I gotta get to, we gotta figure out what we're working with. Gotta figure out what's rusted out and what is not. So this is actually kind of fun. Kind of a big job, but kind of fun. Just lightly tapping everything with a hammer until it stops existing. That spare tire well, I already did already. Looking pretty nice. So that's not rusted out. Everything back here is relatively good. So let's say we have a lot of patchwork to do. If anybody knows where you can get a floor pan for one of these things, I would absolutely love to know, because I can't find one online. Right now I got the front two quarter panels taken straight off the car, and I'm doing a bit of rust repair on them. The reason that I took one of them off in the first place, also this thing's missing. Don't worry, buddy, we'll get you fixed up. We had a leak that I noticed as I was taking the floor area apart. Noticed that water was coming in through a seam that's in here, I believe. So I wanted to get to that just to see what was going on. So I took the panel off, took it inside, and then we got hit with a snowstorm, so that was kind of good timing. I've just been working on it in my little workshop there. Just having a ball. And yeah, in there's a seam that is very rusty. I hit it with a ton of the good stuff, some rust check. But I don't know. We will monitor it and see if it continues to leak. Obviously, just shooting it with rust check is not going to fix the problem. But if I can slow it down, make sure the area is at least soaked in undercoating, and make sure that it drains, that's good enough for me. Because I'm not gonna like start taking stuff apart to actually fix that seam. From inside, you could theoretically take like half the dashboard apart to get to this area to like fix it up and seam seal it, but we're going for it. We're trying to hit a nice balance of not spending my entire rest of my life working on this car and having a wicked project car at some point. Well, we have a project car now. I mean a finished project car. There's definitely some water coming in through these. What are those even? Were there bolts in there? I don't recall. I think there were bolts in here, but clearly not sealed. We got some rust. So water was probably seeping in there. Possibly might be seeping in through where the windshield meets with the firewall. Not sure. But I believe that is the cause for the driver's floor being completely boned. The passenger floor, it's not perfect, but it's better. It's not quite as massive of an operation. So the seat was actually like secured here. So we have a thing that we can reference for whenever we have to rebuild it over on that side. And everything's so stiff today. It's -14. And yeah, that's what we're working with. And I really haven't started chipping away at stuff that much, but we at least have this. Yeah, look at the bright side. And we sort of have that. I don't know if it's wise to leave that. And also, since this was a $1,000 project car, it was absolutely just full of mouse crap and nest and grossness. But most of that is completely out of the car. It's pretty much gutted. I got all the carpets inside and vacuumed and washed and cleaned up as much as I can. So as soon as we have a solid frame again, we'll have a nice interior to throw in it, and I'll have an RX-7 to attempt to drive. Oh, another thing worth mentioning, it's kind of interesting. I noticed that, so we got the manual, amazing. Found like my dream project car for $1,000 in a manual at the same time when I got my own property to like actually have another project car. Anyway, this is not like what I'm used to on my Speed 6s and my Speed 3 where they have shifter cables. There's this mechanism. And I noticed, like pretty quickly, as soon as I tried to move the shifter, noticed that it has spring action in this direction, but the other way, it does not. It just kind of does that, which is not what a manual transmission is supposed to do. So there's this little spring that is in there, and they are notorious for breaking. You can see that it is snapped there. And I actually managed to find them online for $10. So I have a package including that and these, because they had those as well. Might as well. What else did I order from them? Ordered some oil squirter system delete kit so I can start pre-mixing gasoline whenever I eventually start running this thing. And some other things. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly document or make my first video on this thing. My 1983 FB RX7. We're gonna try and make a looker out of it. It's really not that bad. I mean, yeah, but these fenders have never been repainted as far as I know. No Bondo here. See, if you look at just this part, look at that. And yeah. We'll do some touch-up. And, yeah, some speed holes. We'll get that sealed up.